kò lè dé òye kò ní lè máa mọ̀ o mi ò gbọ́ àwa kò lè dé òye kò ní lè máa mọ̀ o. Adé o yé paripa adé o àwa àmàdé òye àwa kò lè dé òye kò ní lè máa mọ̀ ṣé bàbá àwa kò lè dé òye kò ní lè máa mọ̀ mi ò gbọ́ àwa kò lè dé òye kò ní lè máa mọ̀.
There was no music, and there were no drums, but there was sound. And in those days, people would gather to witness the rising sun. As the sun rose in the morning sky, they made sounds that also rose in crescendo to greet it. In time, they learned to cup their hands and to beat their mouths to give this sound rhythm. And when the sun came into full view, they would cease this wordless singing and disband, only to meet again at the next rising sun. This practice has gone on for time immemorial, and it continues to this very day. When people learned to keep animals to meet some of their needs, and use were found for the skins or the hides that we use to make drums, they were pegged to the ground, and then they were stretched to dry. And to check on them as the afternoon wore on, 4 men with long whips would take turns, rhythmically beating them as they circled in counterclockwise direction. These were the forebearers of all musicians and all drummers, who were called the Alawo. One day, one of the Alawo was on his way to the next village to visit his family. And as he traveled along the lonely footpath, that joined town to town and village to village, he heard a voice that said, "Alawo, wa!" which meant, "Skin be to come." The man turned around, but he didn't see anyone, so he walked on. And then the voice said, "Alawo, padawa, skin be to come back." And so the man walked back, and from a tree that strangely grew along this path, he heard a voice, and it said, "Alawo, I am Aya, the spirit of music. There's a hollow in the tree, and that's where I live. Please cut it down so that I can escape. And I promise I'll teach you how to make something that can be understood by all humankind." Now this was important then, as it certainly is today. So the man quickly took his machete and he cut the tree down, and true to its word, according to legend, the spirit of music first appeared and taught him how to make the very first musical instrument. As you might imagine, it was a drum. The spirit of music showed him how to further hollow out the section of tree, how to shape it in the right way, and how to attach some of the skin or hide. It then showed him how to make sounds with this curious-looking thing, especially those sounds that imitated the human voice. But it told him, from now on, you must call yourself Onilu, which is a Yoruba word for drummer. And the spirit of music went further to say to the first drummer, who, by the way, we call Baba Onilu, father of the drum, "When you play your drum, think of your song, and I will sing it for you. When people hear it, they will come together as one. They will learn new, important things, and they will be made better prepared to stand the test of time." And so when Baba got back to his village, he played the drum for the first time. I can imagine it sounded a bit like this. First time, people danced. And it was a joyous dance of unity, togetherness, happiness. And ever since that day, it's been music led by the mighty African drum that's called upon to be a healing force for our entire world. This ends our drum sermon and begins our show. Can everyone please say Ashe?
Ashe.
Welcome to Drum Sermons, Folktales, Legends, Myths from the far corners of Africa. We are Orisirisi. Orisirisi means different things. And that's what we share, music, dance, stories, games from Africa. Our next presentation is called Moonlight Stories. Because in Africa, for thousands and thousands of years, people have gathered, particularly the children, have gathered at the feet of their elders, listening to stories in the mystical light of the moon. Stories that came before modern science, explaining things like why things are as they are, and teaching lessons like right from wrong, how to be a good friend, how to respect yourself and others, and especially how to respect our elders. We have one such story that we'd like to share. It's a story about an animal known as Ijapa. Can you say Ijapa?
Ijapa.
Ijapa, for the Yoruba-speaking people of the African country called Nigeria, is the turtle or the tortoise, but also he is well known as a trickster. In fact, he's a very funny, cunning, sly, sneaky, animal. And we learn what not to do and what to be careful of by going on one of the many misadventures of Ijakpa the turtle. Here's one such story. Now in Africa, storytellers never, ever tell stories unless everyone's ready. To show the storyteller you're ready, when the storyteller says, "Hello," which means, are you ready for the story? If you are, you have to say and do this.
Hello.
That means bring the story down. Hello.
Hello.
Once upon a time, in Animal Land, Ijakpa the turtle had a full head of hair. Now, because of his hair, he thought that he was better looking and more important than all of the other animals. And one day the lion, and they called him King Lion because of his mane and of course his roar, decided that he wanted to have a celebration. So he sent the messenger bird to tell all of the animals that they were invited and that they should bring food, drink, and song to King Lion's party. The bird delivered this message to all of the animals except one, Ijakpa the turtle, who wasn't around and did not receive his invitation. Now the other animals gathered at the elephants to prepare a big pot of soup to take to the party. And while the soup was cooking low, they went to Elephant's backyard to practice their drumming, their singing and dancing as we do here. The song and rhythm went like this.
And this is your response. Can everyone please say, Adonkonti? Everybody clap your hands.
Adonkonti.
Tererekonti.
Adonkonti.
Tererekonti.
Adonkonti.
Wọ́n fi ṣèlú.
Adonkonti.
Àwa kò mọ̀ọ́dún.
Adonkonti.
Wọ́n fi ṣèlú.
Adonkonti.
Àwa kò mọ̀ọ́dún.
Adonkonti.
Gògòrògòdògòdò.
Adonkonti. Adonkonti. While they were drumming, singing, and dancing, the sweet aroma rose from the pot, moved through the forest, and it finally reached Ijakpa the turtle, who said, something smells good. And he began to move in the direction of the aroma. It took him a long time, but finally he reached Elephant's yard. And thinking about the food that he was getting so close to, he began to sing along too. Now, Ijakpa the turtle doesn't have much of a nose, so when he sings, he sounds like this.
So we're all going to sing like the turtle, so don't forget to clap your hands, okay? So everybody say,
Ijakpa the turtle went over to the pot of soup and he took a little taste. And then he said,
everybody raise your
It's my
roof.
birthday.
Oh yeah.
And then he began to think, please everyone, remember that it's dangerous when turtle thinks. He said, wait a minute. They are cooking this big pot of soup. They're drumming, singing, and dancing. These animals are having a party and then invite me, Ijakpa the turtle? Well, I'm gonna teach them a lesson, he said. And to teach others a lesson, Ijakpa tried to eat all of the soup. He kept eating it until he heard the footsteps of the elephant coming to check the pot. Come on, pack it down.
That was a good one. Everybody clap for me. Yay.
Ijakpa took his hat off and poured the rest of the soup into it, and to hide it from Elephant, he put it back on his head. When the elephant appeared, he said, Turtle, I'm so glad to see you. And then all of the animals gathered around telling the turtle about the party, that he too was invited. but the soup began to bubble and boil like never before. Turtle didn't want others to notice, so he began to sing once again. Please everyone sing, shake your body as though you have soup bubbling on your head. That turtle was shaking so much that soup dripped all over him. Giraffe leaned over with his long neck and he said, Turtle, what have you been up to now? The giraffe took the turtle's head off. All of the animals saw what he was doing, and that's when it happened. The hair the turtle thought made him better looking and more important than all others came out. And that's why all turtles have bald heads till this very day.
Yeah, that's his story.
It's a true story. In fact, it's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Yeah. As you might imagine, a good story is never over until the lesson is learned. The lesson we learn while reading, listening, or watching a story is called the moral. What does the story teach us? It teaches us we shouldn't jump to conclusions, and also that everything under the sun can be gone like that. So we should never think that we're more important or better than others because of something that we have that they don't have, because everything under the sun can be gone just like that. Don't you forget it.
All right. Bravo.
We have another song in celebration for this occasion called Ire Gbogbo. The song says, Miss Iya?
Yes, Ire Gbogbo means of all the good things in the world, God gave me mine, and blessed angels pray for me. Of all the good things in the world, blessed angels pray for me. Ire gbogbo tó wà láyé yìí. Ire gbogbo tó wà láyé yóò. Ire gbogbo, ire gbogbo, ire gbogbo, ire gbogbo. Ọba rere fún mi ní tèmi. Ire gbogbo tó wà láyé yìí. Ire gbogbo tó wà láyé yóò. Ire gbogbo, ire gbogbo, ire gbogbo, ire gbogbo. Ọba rere fún mi ní tèmi. Ẹ̀yin áńgẹ́lì mímọ́, ẹ gbàdúrà fún mi. Ẹ̀yin áńgẹ́lì mímọ́, kẹ́ gbàdúrà fún mi. Ẹ̀yin áńgẹ́lì mímọ́, kẹ́ gbàdúrà fún mi o. Ẹ̀yin áńgẹ́lì mímọ́, kẹ́ gbàdúrà fún mi o. Ire gbogbo, ire gbogbo, ire gbogbo, ire gbogbo. Ọba rere fún mi ní tèmi. Ire gbogbo, ire gbogbo, ire gbogbo, ire gbogbo. Ọba rere fún mi ní tèmi. Ire gbogbo, ire gbogbo, ire gbogbo, ire gbogbo. Ọba rere fún mi ní tèmi. Yes.
Yes. Now we have one more story that we'd like to share this evening. It's a story taken from the tradition of the people of the African country called Ethiopia. The people of Ethiopia are well known for their morality tales. Here's one such story. Hello.
Hello.
Time was, and there lived fire, water, good and bad, who lived together. And one day, they decided that they would go hunting, and they found many cattle, which they decided to share equally. But Bad wanted more for himself, so he went secretly to Water, and he said, Water, you have the power to destroy fire. Do this, and we can have his share. Now, Water believed this, and he went and threw himself on fire, and fire was no more. Then bad went over to good, and he said, fire has been destroyed. It was water who did it, so he doesn't deserve to share with us. Let's take the cattle up into the mountains and divide them equally. And so, good and bad drove the cattle up into the mountains. Water saw them go, and he tried to follow, but water found that he couldn't run uphill, only down, and so they escaped. And then at a resting place, bad turned to good, and he said, foolish one, I am strong, and you are weak. I am master, and you are my servant, so all of the cattle shall belong to me. And good said, I am not your servant, and it is I who is strong. And good went forth, and he struggled with bad. Now they fought up and down the mountain without either destroying the other. And so they went before the wind, and they asked the wind to judge who was right. The wind listened and said, it's like this. Good is destined to struggle with bad. Good will win, but bad will return. And again, good must fight. For time immemorial, good must fight bad, because if he doesn't, he'll be lost forever. The end.
Now, I would like everyone to please do everything I do and repeat after me. Everyone say, peace.
Peace.
Love.
Love.
Respect.
Respect.
For everyone.
For everyone.
The only time
you
look down on someone is when you are leaning over.
Is when you're leaning over
to pick them up.
Pick them up.
All right. Very good.
By way of a goodbye, we'd like everyone to dance. It's called Aeroplane.
So everybody get up and put
wherever
your hands
you
on your hips. Like Miss Tutu. Do everything I do, and I would like you all to please say, Bami Bami, Jiggy Jiggy. Bami Bami. Everything I do. All right, Bami.